I'd just gotten off a red-eye from Denver, hadn't slept in 30 hours, and my neck felt like it had been crushed in a vice. That trip wasn't a vacation. I'd closed the biggest logistics deal of my career. $1 billion rollout, signed, sealed, mine. I was already thinking about how I'd finally take a weekend off, maybe fix the back deck, maybe just sleep. Then I walked into the lobby. 3 black garbage bags sat slumped by the security desk, like abandoned luggage. My old mouse dangled out of one like a dead rat. A half-dead desk plant, the kind you forget to water for months, was poking out of another. My name badge was taped to the side of one bag with duct tape. I froze. Talia stood 10 feet away. Black blazer, arms crossed, face smooth, like she was waiting for a cab. "You're 44, Nolan," she said, glancing at her watch. "You should know when your time's up." Her voice echoed. No one else spoke, but they were all there. Vince from legal, Dana from marketing, even that weasel Troy from analytics. Just standing there like they were watching a train wreck they secretly wanted to happen. Vince leaned on the wall like he had time to kill. I think Dana actually flinched when I looked at her. "What is this?" I asked. "What the hell is going on?" "Your position's been eliminated," Talia said, loud, like she wanted the janitor to hear. "Restructuring." That was it. No warning, no sit down, no call from HR. Just a trash bag, welcome home party, and a deactivated key card. I opened my mouth to tell her about the Denver deal, about what I'd just pulled off. She raised a hand. "The files have been removed," she said. "Everything you're entitled to is in the bag with the duct-taped USB. Quick note. Before listening, share which city or country you're watching from." I stared at her, then reached for my key card out of habit. It wasn't there, still clipped to the suit I wore yesterday, probably tossed somewhere upstairs in the mess they'd made. She leaned in, lowered her voice just enough. "You should have remembered who signs off on account visibility before cozying up to their execs." That's when it hit me. This wasn't corporate nonsense. It was personal. She planned this. I bent down and picked up the bags. No one moved. A folded planner slipped out and hit the floor. Pages flapped open, showing months of meetings I'd built from nothing. I left it. I walked out through the glass doors, saw my reflection, tired, bags in hand, jaw locked tight. I looked back once. They were still watching. So I smiled, I waved, and I walked. They thought they'd thrown me out. What they really did was light the fuse. I drove for an hour, maybe more. Didn't even know what roads I took. All I could see was Talia's face. How she didn't flinch. How smooth it all came out of her mouth. Like she'd been rehearsing it for weeks. I ended up at my old man's place in Centennial. Same driveway I pulled into after my divorce 5 years ago. Same pull-out couch in the basement that felt like it was stuffed with bricks. When I walked in, he was already making coffee. Didn't ask a single question. Just grabbed the whiskey bottle off the fridge and poured 2 fingers into a mug. He slid it across the counter. "So, starting over?" I took the mug and sat down. Didn't answer. The next morning I cracked open the email from HR. It was exactly what I expected. Reduction in force. Position redundancy. 2 weeks severance. No rehire eligibility. Then I hit the part that stopped me cold. An updated non-compete for 12 months. I read it twice. It basically barred me from doing anything logistics related. Even as a contractor, I never signed it. Just closed the email and walked away. I hovered over the signature line, almost clicked it, almost gave in. Then something hit me. 2 weeks before Denver, I'd stayed late finishing slide decks for the exec preview. Talia and Troy were in her office with the door cracked open. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but I caught it anyway. "Nolan's too visible," she'd said. "Clients are asking for him directly now. I need him gone before the rollout." Troy's response still makes my blood boil. "So, who replaces him?" "Miles. His dad owes me." Back then, I laughed it off. Thought maybe I misheard. Figured it was office gossip, and I had better things to worry about. But now, that conversation wouldn't leave my head. That night, I stepped out onto my dad's back deck and called Cal Hart from Kelso Freight, the client I'd just landed in Denver. He picked up on the first ring. "What's going on?" he said. "I've been asking your office for you for 3 days." "They told me you took a better offer." I didn't, I said. They dumped me the minute I got off the plane. There was a pause on the line. Then his voice dropped. Well, that explains a lot. He asked if I was free for lunch the next day. Said there were a few things he wanted to run past me, off the record. When I got off the call, I didn't go back to bed. I sat at the kitchen table, opened my laptop, and pulled out a legal pad. Started writing down every client I'd built from scratch. Contacts, notes, project quirks, stuff I never documented in their systems because it lived in my head, because I was the system. Talia thought she erased me. What she really did was burn down the wrong house, and now the fire was spreading. I was going to turn every favor I'd ever done, every late-night deck, every deal she took credit for, into leverage. And the best part? I didn't need a single thing from their files. I was the file. Lunch with Cal wasn't small talk. The guy didn't even finish his burger. He slid a folder across the table with a blank consulting contract inside and said, "Fill in your rate. I'll sign." I kept it simple. No backdoors, no leaked emails, no stolen work files. Just strategy from memory and execution I could back up. He wanted the Denver rollout done right, and I was the only one who actually knew how to do it. That's how I ended up back in Evermark's building 2 days later, not as an employee, as a paid consultant for their biggest client. Walking into that first meeting was surreal. The moment I stepped into conference room D, the air changed. Talia was mid-sentence, turned, and locked eyes with me. Froze for maybe half a second before faking a tight smile. Didn't realize we had outside consultants joining today. Cal, sitting right next to her, barely looked up. Nolan's helping us ensure deliverables are met. Troy was across the room. His jaw dropped, literally, like someone had unplugged his brain. I sat down, said nothing for the first half hour. Just listened while Miles butchered the implementation roadmap, like it was written in Latin. Talia jumped in to clarify, but her numbers didn't even line up with the benchmarks I'd built. Cal glanced my way. I finally spoke. Those timelines aren't feasible unless you reallocate DevOps capacity. Backend's not going to sync if they stick to this schedule. Talia didn't argue. She just nodded like she agreed the whole time. After the meeting, Naomi from product found me by the elevator. "You really built that backend system from scratch?" "Yeah," I said, and I documented every changelog myself. Her eyes lit up like someone had just handed her the missing half of a puzzle. For the next 2 weeks, I sat in on every meeting tied to the rollout. I watched Miles sweat through presentations. Talia couldn't hide the fact she didn't have answers without me, and I never once rubbed it in. I didn't have to. Old coworkers started emailing me. Some were just venting, complaining about how chaotic everything had gotten. Others asked for advice quietly, like they were sneaking cigarettes behind the building. I replied when I had time, when I felt like it. Then one afternoon, I was working from the kitchen table at my dad's when I heard a knock. It was Spencer from marketing, holding a thick manila envelope under one arm. "I had to park around the block," he said. "Didn't want my car recognized." I let him in, offered him coffee. He shook his head and dropped the envelope in front of me. "What's this?" "Internal memos. Client feedback. Screenshots from project trackers," he said. "It's bad, Nolan. Really bad. Miles doesn't know what he's doing, and everyone's starting to realize it." I flipped through the pages, mismatched projections, broken timelines, comments from execs questioning why deliverables were off. It wasn't just sloppy, it was dangerous. If Kelso pulled out, Evermark could lose everything they gained from Denver. "Why are you giving me this?" I asked. Spencer looked me dead in the eye. "Because someone needs to fix this, and you're the only one they trusted." He left 5 minutes later, no small talk, no pleasantries. Just dropped the truth and walked. I sat there, flipping through every page, every screenshot, every timestamp. They didn't just screw up, they were bleeding out, and nobody inside had the guts to say it out loud. Week 3, I walked into a Henderson rollout call and knew something was off the second I saw the room. New guy in a navy suit already seated, laptop open, thin folder by his elbow. Talia was beside him, posture perfect, lips curled into that smug little half smile she thought made her look in control. "Nolan," she said, like we were old friends catching up. "Before we start, there's something we need to address." The guy slid a document across the table like it was a traffic ticket. "We believe you're in violation of your non-compete." I glanced at the paper but didn't touch it. "Yeah? I never signed the updated version. HR sent it, I saw it, but I never agreed. Check your records." He didn't blink. "It's in your original contract." I nodded, slow and easy, then opened my laptop and turned it toward him. "You mean the contract Talia amended in writing last year, giving me full autonomy to lead client-specific implementation under my own name?" His eyes narrowed. "You have that?" "I do." Pulled up a chain of emails, dated, time-stamped, clear as day. Talia's words in black and white, approving me to act as a solo lead on multiple accounts, all under my name, no company cosign. Because back then, she wanted results, not credit. Calvin from Kelso was already sitting across the table. He leaned back in his chair, arms folded. "Well, that simplifies things." The legal guy didn't say much after that. Closed his folder, packed up his laptop. Talia looked like she'd swallowed a lemon whole. Meeting moved on. I didn't say another word, didn't have to. That afternoon, I got a call from Steve, an old client from Dayton. "Heard you went independent," he said. "Any chance you'd look at our freight routing? Something's off, and no one here knows what they're doing." "Send me a time," I said. "I'll take a look." After I hung up, I grabbed my phone and called Mason, an old college buddy who had gone full shark after law school. If I were to go legit, I asked, set up an actual consultancy, what do I need? He didn't hesitate. LLC, site, account, insurance. Give me 2 days. By Friday, I had a name, a logo, a basic website, and a business account with 5 digits in it, and 2 more meetings lined up before Monday. One in St. Louis, one back in Denver. I sat in my dad's garage with the laptop open, invoices queued up, legal docs and folders. He walked in, looked over my shoulder, and nodded like he saw this coming, all along. "You ain't just freelancing," he said. "You're building." Damn right. That night, I didn't go to bed angry. I didn't go to bed tired. I went to bed thinking about leverage, strategy, and execution, and how no one, not Talia, not legal, not Evermark, could stop me now. 3 weeks in, I couldn't keep up. Emails, voicemails, LinkedIn messages, clients I hadn't talked to in months were suddenly digging me up like buried treasure. Word had gotten out. Nolan from Evermark was freelancing, and he still got things done. Clean, fast, no bullshit. I was running on 4 hours of sleep and too much gas station coffee when my phone lit up with a blocked number. I almost let it ring out, but something made me pick up. "Mr. Blake," a voice said. "My name's Rick Holloway. I'm on the board at Evermark. I'd like to meet." I paused. "You're on the board? We've never—" "I know. That's why I'm calling now." He named a time, a date, and a hotel downtown. Private conference room, no company logos. Just 2 chairs, a round table, and Mason sitting beside me with a legal pad in front of him. Rick walked in like he was already 5 steps into the conversation. No handshake, just a folder. "We'll keep this simple," he said, sliding it across. Inside, a printed dossier, emails, flagged reports, internal complaints. Pages of it, all tied to Talia, misreporting timelines, overriding QA, favoritism in promotions, even my own termination flagged for questionable process. I looked up. He kept going. "We know she forced you out. We also know Miles isn't cutting it. Kelso's about to walk. You're the only one who knows how to stabilize it. And, option 1, you return as director of client delivery. 6 figures, your own team, full autonomy." I didn't say anything. "Option 2, he continued, we acquire your consultancy and bring you in as a partner. Full equity? We rebuild delivery around you." Mason stayed quiet, but I could feel him watching me. I took the folder and told Rick I'd need a few days. He nodded, stood, and left without shaking hands. 3 days later, Kelso dropped another bomb. Miles had bungled a cross-dock integration and lost a $12 million deal with Westfield Foods, their second major client gone in 2 weeks. Talia sent an emergency memo blaming system errors. The exec team didn't buy it. That was the tipping point. I called Rick back. Talia goes hands off. I don't report to her. I don't answer to her. You create a new division, client delivery, under me. I report only to executive leadership. He didn't hesitate. Done. The email announcing my return went out the next morning. Half the company thought it was a mistake, a joke. Vince from legal sent me a screenshot of the thread. Subject line: WTF-ISTHISREAL. It was. I walked back in that Monday, through the same glass doors where they had dumped my life into trash bags. No badge reactivation. I had a new one, different title, different floor. People stared. I didn't stop walking. I wasn't just back. I'd rewritten the org chart, and this time, my name wasn't penciled in. It was permanent. Talia was in the middle of a crisis meeting when I stepped into conference room A. Everyone was already seated, Miles hunched over a tablet, Naomi flipping through printed reports, Troy looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. She was standing at the head of the table, pacing, arms crossed tight. When she saw me, she froze. Her voice caught halfway through a sentence. The look on her face? Worth every sleepless night. You can't just walk in here, she started. I can, I said. Client delivery reports directly to the board now. That includes every major implementation. Starting today, nobody moved. Naomi glanced at Troy. He looked down at his hands. A few people looked stunned. One guy, Devin, from infrastructure, actually smiled. Talia straightened her shoulders. That's not how this works. You don't get to... I do, I said. And I will. I dropped a printed outline on the table. Here's the transition plan. Effective immediately. I've already cleared it with executive leadership. The room went dead silent. You could hear the HVAC humming overhead. I didn't raise my voice, didn't gloat. Just walked them through the plan, who was shifting to my team, which accounts were being reassigned, what timelines were staying. Every detail tight, no guesswork. When I was done, I turned to her. Your role is now sales only, no oversight, no client contact, no team. She blinked like she hadn't actually heard the words. You're cutting me out? No, I said. I'm putting you in your lane. The meeting broke without another word. People filed out fast, nobody making eye contact with her. She stayed frozen for a second, then stormed out into the hall. I followed. She spun around. You think this is justice? You think you won? I kept my voice even. I think we're fixing what you broke. You sabotaged me, she snapped. No, I said. You did that to yourself. She didn't reply, just stood there with her jaw tight, eyes burning, like she wanted to slap something but didn't know what. I didn't wait for more. I turned and walked back toward the elevator, outline still in hand. Let her stand there. Let her feel it. 6 months later, my division was the engine keeping the company alive. Client satisfaction was sitting at 97%. Retention numbers broke records. The Bomar account came back on its own. No pitch, no call. Just a contract in my inbox with a note that said, "We want your team." 2 others followed. We started pulling contracts Talia's crew never even qualified for. The difference was simple. We delivered. No spin, no fluff. Just clean execution. Talia stayed. No one forced her to. She just stayed. They left her in a corner office with glass walls, like a display case. No team, no strategy. Just cold calls and pitch decks no one opened. I'd see her in there, headset on, flipping through printed leave-behinds like it was still 2012. She never quit. I think that was the punishment. I passed her office once a day. Same time, same steps, same silence. Never made eye contact. After week 3, she stopped trying to make small talk. The air between us wasn't angry. It was empty. Like we'd both accepted how the game ended. A year to the day after the Denver trip, I was promoted to Chief Client Officer, Executive Floor, Own Suite. Reserved parking spot with my name painted in clean white letters. I took a picture of the new office and sent it to my dad. He texted back in 2 words. About damn time. That night, after most of the building cleared out, I came back from a client call and found a small box sitting on my desk. No label, no card on the outside. Just plain cardboard, sealed with a single piece of packing tape. I opened it. Inside was a potted succulent, thick green leaves pressed gently against the sides. Same kind I used to have on my old desk, the one that got stuffed into a garbage bag. There was a folded note under the base. From one survivor to another. Dad. I sat back in the chair, held the plant in both hands, and looked at the sunlight hitting the corner of my monitor. That spot was perfect. Warm, quiet, clean. I set the plant down and got back to work. I didn't win by yelling louder or taking people down. I won because I outlasted every one of them. They threw me out like I was disposable, but I built something they couldn't replace. I didn't win by getting revenge. I won by becoming impossible to erase.